On this first episode of the season, I'm sitting down with model and content creator Kelly Horrigan. Kelly has two boys. One is only 5 months old, and she is a very special person with a very lovely, warm energy. We spoke about exclusively pumping from one large boob, we've all been there, how having kids gave her purpose, and the wild idea of gender selection and playing God. She also has a hot take on holidaying with your kids. Enjoy the episode. To all my gorgeous listeners, because every parent deserves peace of mind, I'm thrilled to share that this episode is brought to you in partnership with Optimal Follow-On Milk, the #1 follow-on milk brand in Ireland. Optimal Follow-On Milk is a product you can trust. It's specially designed to support babies' growth and development as it contains calcium and vitamin D, which contributes to the normal growth and development of bone. With over 50 years of dedicated breast milk research, Optimal Follow-On Milk brings science and care together to support your baby's journey. Optimal Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. Important notice: breastfeeding is best. Follow-on milk should be used as part of a mixed diet from 6 months. Please speak to a healthcare professional for advice. To verify #1, contact the Optimal Care Line. Well, this is going to be a really, really divine episode because I've Kelly Horrigan, model and content creator on the pod. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm
so excited. Tommy, I'm so excited because over the seasons, like we're 8 seasons in,
wow.
People will recommend people to me. Like lovely followers will go, oh, she's so gorgeous, you must have her on, her story's great. But you only had a baby 5 months ago,
yeah,
so it would have
5
been
months,
creepy
yes.
if I got you when you just gave birth, which I often do.
I would have had him in here.
But I'm often like, will you come on the pod? And people are like, Bex, I gave birth a few weeks ago. I'm fine for now. I'm like, oh, next season. So
I probably would have.
Well, I've had Hannah Saunders just about to give birth practically.
Oh, yeah.
I've had people bring their new babies in, but I'm glad to get you. You're still majorly in the trenches.
Oh my God, yeah, totally. I was just saying in the lift coming up here, I feel like this is like the depths of the trenches now. This is the hard part. First couple of months I was like, this is fine, this is easy.
What's hard? The sleep, the food, feeding, I know you're breastfeeding, the just attachment, what?
I think it's the attachment, yeah. Yeah, like he just wants to be held all the time. Like I can't wait to get, and not that I want to like wish his life away, but when you can put him down and he can sit.
Yes.
Because he wants to be entertained now, but obviously I have Louis as well, he's nearly 3. So I'm trying to entertain him and I'm also holding Zach and it's just a lot. My body just feels
overwhelmed.
Sore.
But it's the whole touched out thing and people are like, oh, what does that even mean? Touched out is a visceral thing. And it's not a resentment of the child, but it's like it's enough of the touching sometimes. Like, and I presume if he is in carrier a lot when you're at home, so
he won't even really go in a carrier. So I'm like physically carrying him.
Okay, I didn't know that, right?
Yeah, so it's just it's a lot, and I'm getting advice from people. Oh, put him down, like he'll be fine in a few minutes. But I'm just not that type. I just can't.
No. It's great to be attached. There's nothing wrong with any. I feel like there's nothing wrong with any of this. There's nothing wrong with stepping out and doing some work. There's nothing wrong with holding him all day. There's nothing wrong with feeding him or bottle feeding him or formula. There is no wrong. If it's not working for you, you constantly have to pivot, I think, with babies. It's something I didn't do very well. Like you were saying there, well, it's good to say it after the fact, but actually I'm only saying all of the things that I've learned that I did wrong because when I was in it, I really was a martyr to the cause. Yeah. And I have a lot of regrets about that.
Yeah, I'm
so
the exact
I think
same,
go
actually.
for it. Like,
yeah.
And your 3-year-old is a busy bee.
He's busy. Yeah, he's just a typical boy. Like do you know what? I don't know whether I've like built a stamina as well because before I had Zach and like right up until I had him, I was always doing something with Louis every day. We don't have childcare, so my husband is self-employed as well, so we kind of just
so you're both kind of working from home and then going,
which is the exact way I wanted it to be. Like I love that. I love that I can spend all my time with him. But you know yourself, you're trying to entertain them. So like he had this like really busy social life. I was always doing classes and I felt like I had to keep that up afterwards. Yeah. So we're still in that, like always in the farm, always in the park, you know, doing something every day. So it's just hectic, do you know? And I think before I had them, I was a slow-paced person and an introvert.
I was going to say, you're quite mellow. I wouldn't see you as like you have a beautiful energy. And when I met you there, I was like, oh, she's just such a high vibration. But you're not a wired, over-the-top energy gal.
No.
So it's funny because you've got these two busy bees. And do you feel like as a mom, you just completely adapt to what your kids do?
I think so, yeah. Because it's just so like gradual as well. It's not like all of a sudden one day you're just doing this. It's just a gradual process. But I think that it's hard because I am such an introverted person that like being on the go and being with people all the time, I'm not used to that.
And small talk with parents.
Yeah.
And even just creating new friendships for him.
Yeah.
And it's intense.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it is... you had built your own career, you were well known for that, really well loved in media landscape. You have your agent, then you're working away at content creation. Do you feel like the energy shift and the complete change in motherhood was kind of shocking to you, or did you just transition beautifully?
I guess yes and no. When I became a mother, I felt a sense of purpose that I never felt before, which I really appreciated. I think being in the fashion world, it's superficial, and I don't think I really realized that until I had like that meaningful sense of purpose. So ultimately, like, all I want is to be with my children, and that is, I love them, but having the little bits on the side is also nice. But I think I transitioned quite well. I don't know. It's kind of hard to like reflect on yourself like that, isn't it?
I just think it's really beautiful that you just said, I thought you were going to say something else. And maybe it's coming from my own projection, because when I first had my kid, I was like born, you're suddenly, I think, reborn. I just think you are.
100%.
It's just a fact. You're physically, mentally, totally different person. And you come back to bits of yourself, and I don't think you ever go back to being you, and I think that's great because you're just constantly moving forward. But I definitely felt a little bit bereft of my old me, right?
Yeah.
And not in a like, I was so thrilled, but I hadn't planned my first baby, and so it came as a kind of like thunderbolt, and then it was so beautiful, but I did feel very much like, where am I gone? Yeah. And you said there, I thought maybe you'd say, look, I was kind of grieving my old self, or I was sad, but I was happy. You were like, a purpose, and it's such a perfect word. You finally have an anchor and a purpose, and everything else is noise, and it's great, and it's what gives you creativity, and it's what gives you financial freedom. Yeah. But actually, your children are your purpose. Absolutely. And I forget that sometimes. You've literally just, as an old woman, you've literally just reminded me that that's what they give you. Yeah, well, that's it. And I know, the modern woman might not like to hear that, and that's fine. I love it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's easy to just get caught up in that life, and I don't think I really realized that I had no real purpose. And don't forget that I'm modeling a different thing every day. There's no long-term project. The social media thing is slightly different, but I'm just going to work and then I leave, and I don't really, like, I don't even see the post-production. I just see the finished product a couple of months later. So I'm never like in a long-term kind of thing. So I never experienced that. Same thing as like routine. I hadn't had a routine in years since I left secondary school. So getting back into that and like having, just like more meaning to my life was like really special. Because you're like, you do all your stuff, and then you kind of see it like, but you're right, you're untethered. It's not yours anymore. Yes. It goes out into the world. That's it. It's nothing really to do with me. And it's not sustainable. It's there, and then there's the money. But it's like, you're right. It's like school, putting your backpack on, having to go in and do your homework, or having to study in college. Kids, whether you like it or not, give you a firm discipline and routine. Yeah. But I also like how you said, this may not be for the modern woman. What does that even mean, right? I don't know. I feel like people... Like, do you follow Ballerina Farm? I know of her, but I don't follow her. Yeah. So there's this kind of like, a lot of critiquing of the trad wife model and the women who are now realising that the crazy two-income families, and I've just stepped really out of a big kind of corporate vibe to find out what will work for my family, because it definitely wasn't. And I think everyone's feeling a little bit pulled in the whole, like, we have to break ceilings, and then men are also feeling like, what is my role? No one has a defined role. And you're saying this may not suit the modern woman, but what does that even mean? Being so a mum is good, it's positive, it's a good, happy thing. A lot of people want to be mums. That's it. And like that, as I said, ultimately that is really all I want. I love having a little bit of creativity on the side, and I love to dip my toe in, doing the odd ad here and a little modelling job here, but like, that is just, it's so special to me, and I don't think I really realised the weight that being a mom carries. Yes. But that's not to say I don't find it hard. No, and I think you've given a really lovely open energy there to the podcast, where you've gone, this is purpose. What are the challenges? Like, I know I loved your post this morning even advocating for breastfeeding, which I think not enough people do, right? And I think that's really beautiful. And whether you have to go directly into bottle, or for reasons you have to give formula, which is absolutely perfect, it's also important to say, look, the breastfeeding journey can be great too. Yeah. But what have you found challenging? Overall, or with breastfeeding? Overall. I think, like I said, the having to like be with someone all the time. Like, I love my own space. So like sometimes I am like, okay, head over there now. So I found that kind of hard. And then just how constant it is. Yes. And especially having a second one. So that was probably my biggest challenge or struggle when I had Louis, was that I just didn't realise, and maybe it's a naivety, because like obviously it's constant, like you're their caregiver, but just it never ends.
And then you think it never ends, and then you add a second one, and you're like, oh my God, I actually did have some free time.
Yes.
And I'm sure that just goes on the more kids you have. But like now I feel as if I really don't have any time to myself.
Is your little one in Ecce or in creche?
No, he starts in September. And actually he did a week of a summer camp in the Montessori that he's gone to. And I could not believe how much I could get done in the 3 hours. Everyone was like, as soon as you drop him off, you're going to be collecting him. Like, it goes so quickly.
No, that's nonsense.
Oh my God, I felt like it was like
the
longest time of my life.
You got you time.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is interesting for me because I always had creche goers because I was working full time in places, so 5 days. So I had that awful disconnect of leaving them and dying and crying and so I'm used to that. But you haven't had childcare because in effect you've been both at home, you've been both working your jobs around it, right? You will find a new sense of loss when he goes in, but you'll miss him so much and you'll also get a bit of your life back. Like that's going to be a deadly period.
Yeah, even like I found like the Monday, Tuesday, I was like waiting to pick him up. I was like, oh my God, when is this day going to end? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of nice.
No, it's
like
nice.
I can, and just having one baby feels like having no babies now. I don't know if you're like that.
Like,
so
you know
easy.
when your mates have, like when my mates all had one baby and I had the two, and they'd be like, oh my God, it's so, now, sorry, there are children who have far more needs or difficulties. But say you had a friend who's just like, Mikey's and you'd be like, seriously? Like,
I'm like, that
throw
looks like
two.
a
And then my
holiday.
sister has 3 and I'm like, okay, I have nothing to talk about here. And I have a friend who has 5 children. But 100%, suddenly you've 2 and you go, what was I talking about?
Yeah, I was
and
just
especially if
pissing my
you've a
time
sleep
around.
thing. Yeah, you're just pissing your... But also you're just like, when you're pregnant with your first baby, you're freaking yoga-ing and you're meeting your friends and you're talking shite. Yeah.
All I did was rest.
And you're buying baby clothes.
Do you know what? It's all relative though, because I used to think before I had any kids that I was a busy person. And now in hindsight, I'm like, I had the best job in the world. I worked like 3 days a week.
Slept.
On a good day. I had great sleep. Yeah, I was, going out every weekend. Then you have Louis and I'm like, oh God, I'm busy
Where's
now.
my life? Yeah.
Now I have 2 of them and I'm like, I was so free then.
But when were we busy? We look at each other and we're like, I remember we'd have arguments about how busy we were in work and going out and travel. We were so busy, like privileged busy, like honestly. And I'm like, did we say that? He's like, yeah, we used to fight about it all the time, how busy, and we weren't getting enough time. And I was like, did we actually do that? He's like, yeah, now we struggle to see grandparents, to visit people, to actually do things together.
Yeah, or just to hang out together, yeah.
Talk to me about that relationship. So I'm like, we don't talk about people's ages, but you are a very young mama, which I just asked you about there. And you're like, yeah, I just felt ready. I wanted to. My mama was young. So you come from that. And I think I think it's really awesome. I think more and more of us, for various reasons, some of us can't, or it takes time, or we're going down a different path, or we're doing it on our own. It is a lot later for us. I love that you just embrace doing it when you're ready and young. And I think with that comes, I think it's great because you're going to have a huge amount of freedom when you get into your 40s.
Yeah, and also more time with them.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the freedom into my 40s was like the golden ticket kind of.
Because that's still very young.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Like we'll have a 13-year-old when we're 40. But we're still not like super
I can't get
young,
over that.
You know? I know, yeah. I always say that to my sister. I'm like, I'll have a teenager then.
My daughter was 5 when I turned 40, which is not that young, I guess, but like, we're very much still in it and we're like old people. No, I know we're not. But you know what I mean? We're so tired all the time.
Yeah.
So you are very young.
Do you know what I always think? You're never ready for it, whatever age, because you don't know what to expect. So how can you be ready for it? So I think obviously you have to be financially ready and, have hopefully a house for them or somewhere, safe and warm for them to be able to feed them. All that goes without saying. But personally, I don't know if you can actually ever be ready for it. How could you?
No.
You don't.
No.
Like my sister had a baby exactly a year before me. So I was pregnant when Zoe was 3 months old. I got pregnant when she was 3 months old. So I had a good bit of training, let's say. I knew how to feed her and change her, and I was always up there bathing her and all that kind of stuff. And so I felt like I was very ready on with all the practical things. But no one can prepare you for the mental shifts like you've talked about. Like you're a whole new person really. And the sleep, all of those type of things. So I don't think you can ever be ready. I don't know if there's actually a right age.
Or a right time.
Yeah.
Because either way it throws a bomb, and a good, beautiful bomb, but it throws a bomb into your... So you could have the perfect life and have loads of money and be older doing it and it's still a complete bomb, or you can be super young and maybe not as prepared. Were you guys together a long time?
Yeah, we were together, so what are we now? We were together 9 years.
Wow,
then.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're together a long time.
Yeah. We weren't married. We got married when Louis was a year and a half. But we had a house and...
How'd you meet?
We were just from the same town. Like we were 17, 18. And just mutual friends.
Really cute.
Childhood sweethearts.
This is so cute. So you just met in your town. Where are you from?
Just like Newbridge in Kildare.
Yeah.
And we just had mutual friends, and it was just very like organic, which is really nice because you don't really hear that anymore.
No, you don't.
A lot of people meet on apps.
And when you do hear it, you're so excited. You're like, your love story.
Yeah, no,
and
it
you
is
just
really
dated
nice.
and kind of evolved with each other.
I was actually going to London to move to model for a year, and I was like, oh my God, no, I really like this guy. Like, what am I going to do? And then we both just finished school, and he didn't really have like much plans. He wanted to take a gap year, so he was like, I'll just go with you. And like when I think back, I'm like, what the hell? Like we were only, I think, about 6 or 7 weeks together.
Yeah.
But I think my parents were like, yeah, go, because they were so worried about me going on my own. And then obviously we didn't know anyone over there, so that really
that bonded you.
That bonded us, yeah. And we were just in each other's pockets, obviously, like 24/7. So,
yeah. And how long were you there? A year, 2 years?
A year.
Came back,
and then Steve set up a business, and I was traveling between here and Milan, and then bought a house and had Louis. And
I feel like you are so, and I know we should never talk about the aesthetic, but you are so stunningly beautiful that you're going to have a very long career, so it really doesn't matter a damn if you pumped out 25 kids or you didn't, or you stopped for 10 years. Like I feel like you will have a lot of longevity because you're very classic looking.
Yeah, well,
you're very
that's
lucky.
kind of, do you know what, I'm in an odd kind of stage with modelling now that like I'm not the young, super fresh faced new face that they want. But they like 15-year-olds. But then I'm also not in the mature kind of
no, not at all
bracket yet.
No.
So I think when the boys are that bit older, I would like to get back into modelling in a big way, and do a little bit of travelling. And
You'll do awesome. You will do
I hope
awesome.
so. I hope so.
Look at the women who are so classically beautiful, like maybe aren't the trendy kind of, the ones who are always changing their look, but are just so beautiful. Who, I mean, if you think about Cindy Crawford had her children and how her career flourished, and she had them in ads, and she had, I think, big brands. Like I feel like. Do you feel like there's a lot of career left in you?
Yeah, I think so. And like, I think the thing with modern kind of, social media and that type of thing, there's so much room to pivot and do different things. And like, I've been really lucky that I've been able to get into social media, and that's really suited my motherhood journey because I can work from home.
You're very good on social media.
I
feel like
you're
very...
I think I need to be more active.
You're like a little artist. No, it's not even about active. Like you create it quite beautifully. Like you'll do a piece on your style, and like your style is so cool and classic and easy. Like it's an accessible, like I look cool and easygoing, but I'm not overstating it. And then you'll do something on like breastfeeding, which is very relevant. And I know you've done interviews on your epilepsy, your journey with that and struggles. And then you have gorgeous pictures of your children. I think you can see that you're very good at creating a really great brand. And hopefully that only just like explodes. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of conscious because I know I do romanticize life, and that's because I like to follow people like that. I love to look at like an aesthetic feed and someone whose life just looks beautiful. Do you know what? I'm very much on TikTok now, where I'm not really looking at like the same people all the time. I'm just on my For You page, and it's obviously tailored to me that I'm just looking at like beautiful families. Yeah. But I do love people who share more personal things, like the breastfeeding thing, that it's like, oh, hang on, she actually is a real person.
So like,
I try to do,
but also your life.
I try to be, honest where I can. Not where I can, but where I see an opportunity to talk about something.
You're not going to puke it all out all the time. Like we no sleep, we're all fighting in our head.
I'm not the type that's going to come on crying. I don't enjoy watching that type of content, so I don't make it.
It's not going to make you happy.
Yeah, but if I see an opportunity for something that I'm passionate about, like breastfeeding, like I'll try my best to be honest about my journey, but I do love a gorgeous picture.
Yes.
I love to know.
And stylized.
To style.
And you obviously have a good eye. Were you like that as a teen? Like, how did you get into modelling?
I don't know. Was I like that as a teenager? I guess working in fashion has brought me into that. Like, I'm 15 years modelling. I started when I was 15.
In school? How was that? Was that weird?
No, I don't think so. I started in TY, so I had that little bit of freedom. I loved it. I think I was a very, very shy child, and this has completely transformed my personality and brought me out of my shell. So I think that's like the best thing that's really come out of it.
Were you in Newbridge College?
No, I was in the Holy Family, and then I went to Leinster College for my final year because I had missed a lot of school for modelling. I had to do
I taught in Newbridge College.
Did you?
And I remember teaching Alana Byrne, who was also modelling. I was thinking,
I know her.
I wonder were you there as well?
No way.
Yeah. And I'm so much older than you, I could have taught you.
Oh my God, what were you teaching?
English and drama and
I never knew that.
Yeah.
God,
I know, a
random.
little pivot for a few years.
Yeah.
We spoke about, it's something that I was speaking about at the weekend with a friend actually, gender disappointment and all the, and I don't want to say bullshit around that because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
But there's something, and you're very much open about things you've gone through, and I just said there briefly about epilepsy, which I think, thank you for coming out and talking about that, and your struggles, and then just even like life and breastfeeding. But you said there, it can irk you a little bit when people are like, are you going for the girl?
Yeah.
And it's actually not that nice, because if you think about it, you've two beautiful boys who are healthy and well, and you're thriving and you're having a great old time. Why do you think people project that on you, and why do you think people do that? I've had a ton of boy mamas on this pod, and I tell you, they're having an easier road of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why
I
this
think
is
so
weird.
too. I don't know. I don't know whether it's like because of the line of work that I'm in, and I love, like, I'm a girly girl. Like, I love makeup and I love fashion and all that kind of thing, that people assume that I'd love a little girl to dress. And like, don't get me wrong, would I have loved that? Yes. I love buying things for my niece. I love, like, you know, the little hair accessories, the accessories, all that kind of stuff. But it's not me sitting here wishing, oh my God, I wish Louis was a girl, and or I would go again specifically to have a girl. I find that so bizarre, and I just don't think that's the right reason to have a child.
No.
Like, God forbid you end up with another boy, you know, really wanting a girl, and you're
What does that do to your relationship?
Yeah,
And
and then they hear that in years to come, that, like, you know, well, they didn't really want me in the first place. They just went again to have a girl. It just upsets me for children.
It's bizarre,
It's
isn't
bizarre.
it?
It's
Imagine
just
hearing
really
that
strange.
years later, mum was really disappointed,
Yeah.
or I don't get it either. And I think people are like, I have friends will go, but you had to go. I'm like, but I didn't wish either. I came from a huge family of girls, so therefore it would have been interesting to have a boy for me, actually. And I see myself as a boy mama, because I'm kind of like, they're very high energy and active. But then I got these two girls who are high energy and active and are fantastic. But I don't know about it, and it's interesting that there's a perception, and I wonder, is it because of the glam life people think you lead? So they're like, well, you're just going to parade around two girl accessories. Well, actually, I've got beautiful boys.
Yeah, it's just so odd, and like nothing's ever mentioned about like just the fact that they're two beautiful, healthy children.
No.
You know, I'm so lucky to have that, and I feel so blessed. And it was never in our plan to have three. We want two, and it's just
Do you get triggered by people saying, are you having a third, or do you just ignore it? I just can't.
Yeah, I kind of just joke about. I don't know why people think that me and Steve are gonna have like 5 kids. I don't know, but everyone's like, no, you will. You'll change your mind once Zach is
People have
like
so many
crawling
opinions.
around. Yeah, but like, we say never, because I don't know, you know, in 3-4 years how I'll feel. Maybe I will crave another baby, but right now I think 2 is perfect. I think the world is like so nicely set up for families of 4. But yeah, they're going for a certain gender. And that's not to say, like, I think it's fine to, when you're pregnant, you know, hope for a girl or hope for a boy. And gender disappointment to a certain extent is so natural and normal and fine. But I think like actively going out of your way to like try for a gender.
For a
is
sex,
like, yeah. I don't
Or
know.
to pay for it. Like, I think I was hearing about someone who, the
that's
gender selection,
crazy.
and I was like, wow. What kind of mama are you, Kelly?
I don't know. I'm definitely a type B mom. I'm not like, well, I'm learning to be more organized.
What's a type B and a type A?
So the type A
Okay,
is
go
like
on.
super organized, has their ducks in a row, has their shit together.
Jeez, I've never heard
Type
this.
B is
Like,
a little bit more go with the flow.
Okay.
Scatterbrain.
No, but would that, you mean attachment, breastfeed, if he stays on for ages, grey, sleep, co-sleep?
Yeah.
Like, you just need to go with it.
Co-sleeping, feeding on demand.
Aw.
Nothing's like planned. Like, I'm not like writing down how much he's fed for
same,
or, you
same.
know, how long he slept. I don't have the time for that.
No,
I
same.
don't have the headspace for that. And I'm just not that like organized personality
No,
anyway.
same. I just always went with it.
Just go with it, yeah. Because it's such a short time as well, and like they're all grand in the end. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard at 5 months because of the sleep and feeding. Do you kind of see the light? Like, do you remember when you came out of that with Louis? Like, was there time? Like, when do you think it'll start to get easier?
Do you know what? And I hate saying this, but Louis was a much harder baby than Zach is. Just from the get-go, like, he had a tongue tie, so he had to get that released. Then he really struggled to latch. Then eventually he did latch, but he has really bad eczema, and the skin-to-skin contact was flaring him up. So I ended up exclusively pumping for 7 months.
Wow, that's
Then-
hardcore.
Yeah,
that's
the
hardcore.
skin is just a full-time job. He has a nut allergy.
Exclusively pumping for 7 months. Like, let's just take some grace for women in the world and stop pretending it's easy. Like, exclusively breastfeeding. And you and I were talking about our special one boob that produces milk, which is really sexy. There should be a brand made for that. Like, I was the same. I'd have this giant Mongo sexy boob, and then I'd have literally a nothing. And you're pumping from that, and it is exhausting.
Oh my God. And it's like you're always playing catch up. That's what I found. And I don't know why. It's like you said, hindsight is a great thing, that afterwards, like, I should have just been like, I'll top up a formula, or, you know, I'm just gonna just be a little bit easier on myself. But because I was in it, I was like, no, I'm not giving him formula. Like, I'm just hang on 2 minutes and I'll pump a little bit extra. And like, it was so stupid, like, when I think back. But it's 100%, in my experience, harder than like breastfeeding on the boob.
100%.
Like, this is so easy for me.
Shove it on
and
the
everyone's
boob.
like, oh my God, when are you going to introduce bottles? And I'm like, I hope he never wants a bottle, because this is easy.
So easy. Like, it's just, if you can do it, guys, and if it comes easy, isn't it beautiful, and aren't we lucky? But if it isn't, hail to you too. Like, it doesn't, I just think the whole, like, fed is best sounds contrite, but actually fed is best. So just, you do you.
Yeah.
And
I think give it a good go.
Yes.
I would always advocate for breastfeeding, and like, try your best if you want to. I'm not saying like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if it's something that you're really wanting, and it's what you pictured when you were pregnant, I really want to breastfeed, just give it a really good go. But if it's not working, don't kill yourself.
Because your tongue tie thing was a challenge you to come to, and you could have said then, no,
Yeah,
right?
and I think I would have maybe been upset with that decision if I had done that, because I really loved breastfeeding, and I still love it now. And like, I would be sad to think that it would end anytime soon. It's just that kind
of magical. Like, I'm kind of jealous of you now that I think about it, because yes, you're in the trenches, but I do think back to Simone and those few months off work, and I would sit on the couch and I'd be like, oh, I'm so tired to breastfeed. And I'd put her on, and my other child would have been 3. So similarly, and playing around, but I then have to stop. I'd actually have to completely reframe my day.
Yeah, it actually slows you down. Yeah, it does.
And you're looking at them and you just want to eat them, and they're so cute.
Yeah, and when they look up at you,
smell beautiful.
Yeah. And it's nice to be needed.
And I think I actually breastfed my first child in a stressy mentality, because it wasn't going that well, and it was hard, and sometimes it was sore, and I think so it was all just a bit like stressy for me. And I don't know if that's a pleasant experience for anyone. And then she did go on to bottle, and she was great at adapting to that. Whereas I do remember with Simone absolutely adored breastfeeding.
Yeah, I feel like Zach is the same. Yeah. It's just, sometimes he's actually not even feeding. He's just,
lolling around.
Yeah, he's just having a good old time down there, relaxing.
But that connection.
And I love that.
You'll never get, like, you'll get that in a totally different way with your kids.
Yeah, 100%. It is, and like, you can't describe the bond. It's so beautiful. And yeah.
You're a beautiful family of 4. What do you hope for you guys? Like, are you going to stay in Dublin? Are you planning to go somewhere else? What do you see for your family? Like, you're a real mama.
I don't know. My mom will be laughing listening to this, because when I was a teenager, I was always like, I'm going to settle down in Paris or New York or London. And then I literally lived 2 minutes up the road from her.
That's so funny.
Just feel like when I had kids, and the older I got, my sister having a child and all, I was like, I just want to be close. I love my family, and I'm very family orientated. So I don't see myself ever like permanently moving away, but we always do say like we would love somewhere in Portugal that we can just like, because we're both self-employed, we can do those things.
Do you love the self-employed life?
Love it. I can't imagine it ever.
You've never had the kind of 9-to-5er?
No, not a 9-to-5. I did have like part-time jobs before my modelling was like established, that I'd, work at a shop.
And you
or whatever
couldn't do that again? No.
I don't think so.
Could he?
No. I don't think so. He comes from like a business family, so they have a family business.
So to work for the man would be allergic, yeah.
He's never worked a normal job. He's just had his business from the start, and that was it. So yeah, I don't see either of us ever doing that.
And do you travel a lot because of that? Is there flexibility in your life?
Yeah, well, this is probably a hot take. We decided not to go on holiday this year because I just don't think it's worth it. Sue me, I know, everyone says.
No, they don't remember, right? So if it's for the kids, don't bother your ass.
Do not bother.
But if it's for you two, go. If you want to sit and stare at each other with babies crying. But can it be for you two?
This is my...
No, we travelled a lot with my first kid because it was pre-COVID. And no, it was hard. It was horrendous. And at the time, I really milked it on Instagram and was like, it's great. It was really hard because she would scream down hotel rooms. People would complain about her. She would get...
One of you is just walking in the buggy while the other one's sipping your sangria and you're like, I'm not even enjoying this.
We'd gotten her onto formula. We couldn't find the right formula somewhere. And I remember just nearly freaking out about dehydration. I think I got heat stroke on one of the trips. Getting stuck in airports with a baby ain't the crack. Let's not glamorise it on it. It's shit.
It's shit,
It's expensive, and then what for? So, sorry, we did it all. We went to South Africa with her because my husband's South African. So we were like she's got to meet the grandparents. I'm like, she's one. Like, she's never going to remember this. But we did it, and we did this kind of odyssey down there, and she went on a game reserve trip and everything. But in retrospect, I think that was a grueling trip for me mentally, and I think it was shit for her because she was little, and it's shit.
Yeah, and they don't remember it. Like, I feel like you have this like thing in your head that you need to go on these family holidays, and you see them online, and they look so perfect. But actually, when you're in them, and it was kind of semi-okay with Louis, but like, don't forget you're paying for this. This is what we always remind ourselves. We're like, fine, you hear people saying, you might as well parent in the sun.
No.
Yeah, but you're paying.
No.
So we're like, let's save the money we'll be spending this year, and let's go on a big whopper holiday next year when like they're both a little bit more manageable and normal.
It's just not manageable. You have a 5-month-old. Imagine it's just sitting on some random plane with germs over breastfeeding or up the pool roasting.
Exactly. And we're divide and conquering at the moment. So like we wouldn't enjoy it together, and like just I don't know.
It's the romanticizing. Like, we have still done it, and we persevere every year, and every year I get a little bit anxious. Now my kids are a little bit older, so you can kind of, they can, one swims really beautifully, so the worry about pools is always my biggest worry. And then the three-year-old will duck around, and then if there's a kids club for an hour, I'll be like, I'll go to the gym for an hour. And we do try and carve out time. And there are some fabulous memories of the silly discos or the beach walks or the dinners. Mostly it's just paying extra to be somewhere else.
You're still doing
the pursuit of what?
Yeah, that's it. In the pursuit of what you see it online, and you're like, hang on, this isn't translating into my life.
All my photos of me as a kid in Greece, like that my mum has, I'm like, oh my god, do you remember the Mickey Mouse? And Mum's like, that was so hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I remember. We had traveller's checks that blew away in the wind one day, and then I remember camping with the three of you, and then I remember one of you got really bad. I'm like, what? She's like, and she's traumatized.
Yeah, it's so hard. I've decided this year that in 2 weeks' time I'm bringing Louis to London to see my best friend. Because I was like, I can do one on my own. He's like normal. He's toilet trained now. He can.
Perfect.
We can hang out like two normal people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. We can have a conversation and whatever. But that's the height of it. At least then, he can say he's gone on holiday. He can remember that. Yes. He can go on a plane, all that kind of stuff.
Going down the country is gone on holidays.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, well, we did do that. We actually got this little cabin, and we toasted marshmallows, and we had a glass of wine, and that was perfect. That was perfect. And I got more of that, you might as well parent somewhere else, just to like get out of the monotony of your own life.
Of your day-to-day.
But like spending thousands to go to some kids club, blah, blah, blah. Hot take, but
no, and I love
it's not worth
it,
guys.
Take.
Don't do it.
Are you interiors obsessed? Are you big home birdie gal doing up your house, or do you give a shit?
No, we are like that, but I feel like we have this conversation every day where we're like, we need to just lean into the fact that the house is going to be wrecked for another year or two, probably more, because we were very much like loved the interiors, loved everything to be just like perfect, and it can't be, especially with a boy. I feel they're just mental, so they're
just a little bit more busy.
Yeah, they're just...
Girls want to talk about their feelings at the breakfast table. Like this morning I was like, I have too many feelings for your feelings.
Girls are so wild to me. I know people want to like squash this like gender difference thing, but like...
No, it's there.
It's there. We can't.
Let's not, look, we're in this whole new era, and people make different choices, and there's different worlds, and people are born different ways, and we accept this. But girls, like my girls, want to discuss and like...
they talk nonstop.
Manipulate emotion, and there's ups and downs, and there's...
they're so clever. Boys are just more simple creatures,
but it's like men in general in life. We expect so much from them, and they're like, why did he ghost me? No offense, right? Why did he ghost me, or why did he... And they're like, I was just playing golf.
Yeah, they're just so simple, and that's really nice.
Do you find that with your boys? Do you find that with Louis' needs?
Yeah. Like, if I have my niece... she is just chatting the ear off me nonstop, and you just get great crack out of her, great stories. But Louis is just, he's just more simple, and he has his little cars, and we play little games, and we draw all the time, and we might have a little scrap, and then 2 seconds later it's over with. Whereas like I feel like a girl could like bring that back up.
Bring it back up. But earlier on you said this, Mama. Like my girl came up to me this morning, and she goes, I was like, why do you have tears in your face? And I was like, drying them. And I was like, so tired. Anyway, and I was like, what's up? And she's like, Dad, gave out to me about spilling the orange juice. I was like, he was probably just saying to you. And she goes, I don't know why you would do that. I was like, God.
Well, I will say Louis is quite a sensitive little soul. Like he is, he can be a little, sensitive, I guess is a nice word to describe him. But he wouldn't hold a grudge. Like he's very mama's boy.
Okay.
Like sometimes I'm like, I feel so guilty. And he's like, it's okay, Mom. It's okay. Like he's sensitive, but he's like, he has my best interest at heart, I feel.
But I can see you're embracing this. You're like, I'm going to take this.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Talk to me finally about your relationship with Steve. You've kind of alluded a few times, like you met very young. you're both kind of effectively running your own businesses, because you're running your own career, he is. You've built this family life, you have these 2 boys. How do you look at him and go, let's get back to, like, how do you do that when you've been together for so long?
I think it's
I'm
important.
only together even less time than you, and I'm much older than you, so you have a big, long relationship.
Yeah, like we obviously have gone through a lot of like eras, say, in our lives. You know, we've really grown up together, and my parents say that a lot, that they've like seen Steve in so many different like stages of his life, like, you know, learning to drive, moving out, moving country, buying a house, becoming a father. Like he's really evolved, and I think we've evolved together, which is really nice. But throwing kids into a relationship does change it, and I think like you have to just be okay with that and try to obviously make time where you can. Like we went to a comedy gig not long ago, and it was just nice to just I was going to say not talk about kids. We probably did sit there and chat about them, but talk about other things. But I also think it's important to just lean into the fact that you're just in this little bubble for a little while, and you'll get back to you. Like that's what we just keep saying. We're like, in a year's time, we'll be like flat out going on our date nights, because I don't like to leave. I'm fine with leaving Louis, but like I didn't leave him for a year and a half. Yeah. And I feel like I'll probably be the same with Zach. So I think we're a bit more realistic this time. We're like, in a year and a half, we'll go to Ibiza for a week, or, you know, and we'll just look forward to that. I think don't put too much pressure on it, because it is really hard to like, you're not gonna have the same relationship. It's impossible.
You're very wise. Like you're a little bit younger, a lot younger than me, but you've got a very wise soul, and you can tell that you have that old phrase, old head on young shoulders. Like you're very wise, you're very self-assured.
I think it's because I worked really so young. So like I started when I was 15, and then I was modeling like with adults all the time. I was spending more time with adults than people my own age. But like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like this all the time.
No, but you're not there's no fickleness.
Steve will be like, what the hell?
No, but there's no, like, you're not fickle, you're not in it, you're just yourself, and I kind of knew you would be. You're very soulful, you're wise, you have opinions on things, and you're not scared to voice them. You're not like, well, I kind of feel that. You're like, this is how I feel, and you're so lovable. Thank you so much, Kelly Horrigan, for coming on the pod.
Thank you so much for having me. It was
delighted.
So lovely. I'm delighted too.
To all my gorgeous listeners, because every parent deserves peace of mind, I'm thrilled to share that this episode is brought to you in partnership with Optimal Follow-On Milk, the #1 follow-on milk brand in Ireland. Optimal Follow-On Milk is a product you can trust. It's specially designed to support babies' growth and development, as it contains calcium and vitamin D, which contributes to the normal growth and development of bone. With over 50 years of dedicated breast milk research, Optimal Follow-On Milk brings science and care together to support your baby's journey. Optimal Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. If you like this episode, will you please rate it, subscribe, and share it with others? This helps me get the guests that you want to hear.